Lana and Elaine, it has been a very emotional day. According to Michigan state law, the victim impact statements can go on for as long as they need it to be. Whoever wants to speak can speak, and there is no time limit at all. I would not be surprised if this goes into Monday or Tuesday of even next week. We know several people have taken the mic today, families of victims, some students, some in the community as well. Some are addressing the community, some are addressing the judge, and most are addressing the shooter, Ethan Crumbley, letting them know how much pain they're in. Like I had mentioned, some of these victim impact statements are quick, short, and to the point. Others, very emotional, have taken 10, 20, and even 30 minutes.
Yeah, you know, Jordan, I think it's hard for anybody to hear those statements, to listen to those grieving family members. I'm wondering how Crumbley has responded. What's his demeanor been during these impact statements?
That's a good question, and we've had an eye on him the whole time that these victim impact statements have been read. Ethan Crumbley has been emotionless. He's been sitting in that chair since 9 this morning, listening to person after person, walking them through their experiences while Crumbley sits there with what seems like no emotion. We do know a little bit of the time he's been giving some head nods as if he's actually listening, but we're not sure if he's actually digesting what's being said to him and what's being said in the courtroom. We know that several people have wanted to take this opportunity to address Crumbley and address the community. Again, Ethan Crumbley could face life in prison without the possibility of parole.
All right, Jordan Burrows, thank you.
Vlad and Anna Marie, good morning. We know right now that strikers are still feeling optimistic and very confident in what's going on with negotiations. It is day 27 of the UAW strike versus the big three of Ford, Stellantis, and GM. There is no timetable yet on when a negotiation will be made, but we know at this moment that they are feeling very confident that a deal will get done and hopefully will get done soon.
Jordan Burrows is joining us with the very latest. Jordan, thank you for joining us. What do we know about the shooter and why this campus was targeted?
Of course, it's good to be with you guys today, Jamie and Rudabeh. We're at the Breslin Center where Michigan State University hosts their basketball games. Not too far away from Berkey Hall and the Union. As we know, were those two locations. 2 people shot dead at Berkey and then 1 person shot dead at the Union. As far as the suspect is concerned, we are still learning new information at this time. We know a 43-year-old man, and we know he has no affiliation with Michigan State University. The big thing from the press conference that was a couple hours ago was when he heard from the deputy chief. He told us, quote, "We have absolutely no idea what this man's motive was." And I think at this point, that is what law enforcement and all the agencies on campus are still looking for.
Yeah, sometimes we don't have any idea what actually brought these people to do these types of acts. I hate reporting on these situations. You know, we know 3 people are dead, 5 people are critical. When you put numbers to it, I then start thinking about just the impacts on so many other people. How are the students at the university holding up? Have you been able to talk to anybody?
Yeah, I mean, as we speak, there are students actually watching our live shot in the moment in this parking lot. It's been less than 2 years, about 15 months from Oxford High School, from the Oxford school shooting, to here at Michigan State University. That's 2 shootings within 15, 16 months of each other. You've probably seen the response on social media as the viewers at home from students. It always, when it hits close to home, it means more. It gets goosebumps and emotions for you. So I think students, 18 to 22 years old, you're still processing this. I think for parents, they're going to need to have a really important conversation with their kids. Same with alumni and people that call Michigan State University home and support the program here. Rudabeh?
Yeah, and we know that the names have not been released yet of the victims. We want to respect their privacy. What do we know about the note that was found indicating a threat to 2 other schools in New Jersey?
Yeah, let's first start with the names of the victims. We are supposed to learn that information today, not sure on what time. According to the note, it is exactly what you just said. Allegedly, we think that there might have been some targets in New Jersey, but we know once we talk to police, of course, we'll learn more and we'll update you guys as we get to know what's in that note. Important to add, too, that Michigan State University's police department has been very transparent in person and also on social media. Be tracking their Twitter account on social media because as soon as they get those updates, I mean, they're putting those out there and letting the community know what's going on at Michigan State. Rudabeh?
Yeah, it definitely is so scary and so rattling for everyone who has college students and for everyone, you know, who is sending their kids to school every day, young and old. Jordan, thank you very much from Lansing, Michigan. We appreciate your time today.
Debris and rubble like this line Sussex Street and Florence Avenue from the home explosion that happened yesterday. This, the location of where that explosion happened. As you can see further on this block, the home explosion impacted more than just that house. Neighbors tell us that they heard this home explosion from more than a mile away.
I hope wasn't nobody in there, and there had to be a hell of a gas leak.
Neighbors say nobody was living in this home at the time of the explosion. Turned fire Monday around 3:30 in the afternoon.
We have a lot of elderly neighbors on the block. You know, they blowed out my windows. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, who's gonna fix this? Who's gonna fix this? This stretches for 4 houses down on each side. I don't know about the surrounding streets, but this is ridiculous. I don't understand.
Nobody was hurt except one person had minor injuries. The Detroit Fire Department hasn't determined the cause of the fire, but the investigation is ongoing.
Well, I got in my vehicle and I drove over and I looked and I couldn't believe it. And it was that far away, and I'm probably from here at least 10 blocks away, and the parts were shaking in my ceiling.
Neighbors tell us they smelled gas days before the house explosion, and DTE evaluated the area and said there was no gas leak. DTE released a statement to CBS News Detroit that says in part, quote, all DTE equipment was working as expected without gas leaks. The incident was a result of at least one open fuel line on resident-owned equipment. City leaders say hotels are being provided for those families affected.
Definitely should have been taken more serious, because what if somebody was there? What if somebody was here? It could have been a lot of people hurt or dead.
There has not been a determination yet into what officially caused the home explosion. However, we do know the cleanup process starts today. Reporting on Detroit's northwest side, Jordan Burrows, CBS News, Detroit. We're on the field where legends used to play. This is the corner ballpark at Michigan in Trumbull. Hank Greenberg, Ty Cobb, Miguel Cabrera never got to play on this field, but if he did, it's 440 feet to center field. I don't know about hitting a home run out there, but yeah, 507 home runs in this legend's career so far. We caught up with the Tigers staff to hear what they're going to do to honor Miguel Cabrera this season. There we go.
I cut it too short.
All right,
Let me
show you how it's done here.
I cut it too short.
Let's bring it here. So he's got the white balls over here. I got these yellow ones. Okay, so let me show you how to read this. All right.
Let me see that. All right, no, go ahead.
I'm going to step up without having to read this putt, hopefully.
He's already read my line, so
yeah,
he
no.
make it.
I was the other, behind you. We'll go nice and slow here. Wait a second.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, man! You know what? Again, everybody, he read my line.
I did not read that line.
So we'll do the next one. He'll go first. I'll read his line and watch what happens. There we go. Now,
hey, that was awesome. I got to act like I've been here before. I don't know if I've ever been put like that. Hey, you never know what you're going to see on CBS News.
You never know. You never know. That was sweet.
This is the moment we've been waiting for. So in the 6 o'clock hour, I asked them to perform a song. They weren't ready. You guys weren't here yet, but these ladies have now, they're ready. They've been performing this. Here we go. Okay, I'm putting the mic like in the middle. 3, 2, 1, go.
Baby, we're the new romantics, coming along with me. Heartbreak is the national anthem, we sing it proudly. We are too busy dancing to get knocked off our feet. Baby, we're the new romantics, the best people in life are free.
That was awesome. Can we get a round of applause, everybody? Woo! That was so awesome. I think these ladies, this probably made their day. But tonight, we know, is the Taylor Swift concert. Guys, that was great. I think Taylor Swift might sing that just maybe a little bit better, just a little bit. But they want to see that in concert. We've heard these concerts go from anywhere from 3 to 4 hours long. These ladies are in line for that merch, the coveted merch, guys, we've been talking about it, that blue sweatshirt. Everybody wants the blue sweatshirt. We know someone, I talked to someone in line. They spent $1,800 on merchandise yesterday. We know tickets, though, are still going for that expensive. So Taylor Swift tonight. The traffic's going to be a mess, but it's not going to be a mess inside of Ford Field. We've got Taylor Swift here tonight. It's going to be so awesome. Terrence and Sandra, I mean, Taylor Swift, she's the GOAT. It's not strikeouts and home runs at Comerica Park. It is tee shots and hole-in-ones as Upper Deck Golf has transformed Comerica Park into a golfer's paradise.
We're just really excited to be here. The fans have turned out. We have really good attendance. It's a 4-day event, which is a big event for us.
Get your peanuts in Cracker Jacks and watch and see if you can get a par, birdie, or hole-in-one from Comerica Park's nosebleed seats. Okay, it might look intimidating, but the shot is so rewarding. Upper Deck Golf partners with sports venues across the country, primarily ballparks due to their layouts, to present a 9-hole course where the golfer takes shots from around the whole concourse.
You're playing a round of golf inside the stadium, so you're coming in here and you're playing a 9-hole round of golf in the stadium, shooting to different pins and flags throughout the field, and you can keep score just like regular golf.
Brian Graham, spokesperson for Upper Deck Golf, says playing around at Comerica was a no-brainer, and these golfers agree.
Whether you've never played before or you're a really good golfer, this is something you can't replicate. It's just a really cool experience.
Oh, I was pumped. I mean, I'd seen some Instagram posts on this before and just thought it looked awesome. So actually my friend Scott here invited me to come out, and I wasn't going to pass it up. This is an awesome opportunity.
Being at Comerica Park is always a treat. Love the city, and I love the ballpark.
Drivers in fairway woods are not allowed due to the shots ranging from 50 to 150 yards in length. Also, everyone must have a ticket to play the round. The group also donates 5% of the proceeds to the charity Stand Up to Cancer. It's a new, cool, and exciting way to play golf at Comerica Park. Tee times are still available for Upper Deck Golf at Comerica Park, anywhere from $80 to $110. Upper Deck Golf reps also say they might be back at Ford Field in the coming years. Reporting at Comerica Park, Jordan Burrows, CBS News, Detroit. Hey, it's Jordan Burrows with CBS News Detroit. This is me leaving my house this morning, trying not to wake up my fiance and our dog. Wake up call 4 a.m. for the NCAA Tournament, Michigan State versus Kansas State. Our sports anchor, Ronnie Duncan, as always, very punctual. Me, on the other hand, might have been just a smidge late. Off to the Detroit airport to take a straight flight to JFK. The Spartans, they're playing at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden. We had plenty of bags and definitely got our steps in. Man, I love these moving walkways. They should replace public sidewalks. It's definitely been a busy morning. But look at this guy, Ronnie Duncan. He doesn't stop working. Several MSU fans are on our flight. Of course we had to talk to them. The flight wasn't too bad. There was some turbulence. Remember when I said Ronnie was hard at work? Well, he may have been snoring on the flight, but we finally arrived in New York City. Let's skip the airport because, it's boring. But we got a cab. We made sure our seatbelts were on because, as you can tell on the look on our faces, it was a crazy ride. But we've been on the go since. Got on a couple of live shots, but now it's time for a New York slice. You think it's actually just 99 cents? Yeah, no way. All right, guys, we'll see you tonight. For Ronnie Duncan, I'm Jordan Burrows, CBS News Detroit.
Jordan, what kind of mischief are you getting into this hour?
All right, listen, there's not a lot of mischief happening. I think it's a little too early for that. When you see Jordan maybe more in the evening, there might be a little more mischief. Let's talk about here, Huntington Place, Automate. At Huntington Place, 300,000 square foot place, 750 plus exhibitors. I'm with Fanuc. They're based out of Rochester Hills. Let's first talk about, this is one of their big robot machines over here. This is carrying 1,000 kilogram, what's supposed to be an electric battery, which is about 2,200 pounds. I mean, it is pretty massive what it does over here. This is just one of the examples of their super heavy robots. But if you follow me this way, we're going to talk about more of the collaborative robots, what you might actually see in your everyday life. I mean, this Automate is going to be so cool all day and throughout all week. You can register online. All you need is an email. Enough about that. Let's check out this robot here. Chris and Sandra, we were talking about this earlier. This is our guy over here, or our gal, making what looks like you got an English muffin, you got a little sausage, little cheese. You put it all together. It looks great. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, if this was how my food was made, I would have no quarrels with that. The thing moves pretty quickly, pretty efficiently. I did, however, I tried to ask them a price on how much it would cost. I guess the sales department slept in this morning because I was talking to a marketing guy, so they didn't let me know how much it was. But they did say that this machine obviously is next level technology. Fanuc designed it and they made it, like I said, based out of Rochester Hills, been around since the 1950s. And let's move to another one that probably more people have seen. This is pretty much one that's out of like Amazon warehouses or anywhere that's going to use anything for stocking and getting stuff from shelves to packaging. This is just one of the robots that kind of sits around in the middle of the floor, and you have this one just travels around to drop off the inventory. Now, what's up, guy? How are you? Yeah, that thing is super cool. I mean, there are so many robots and so much stuff inside of Automate here. We're in downtown Detroit, Huntington Place. It's going to be the place to be all week long. I haven't even mentioned this all morning, but Tom Izzo is the keynote speaker. You're going to hear from him, obviously, on business, on robots, on automation. Like I said, you just need an email. You go to Automate's website, you put that in, you'll get your little credential, and you can come on in. You just have to find a place to park. You hear from the 22nd, that's today, through the 25th. That's Automate Downtown. I've had a good time all morning long, so I know if you're here, you're a small business, large business, business owner, you'll love what you're seeing here with automation. Chris and Sandra. Nikki D's Coney Island in Sterling Heights is one of many restaurants that could be affected by Friday's potential strike. It's UAW versus the big three of GM, Ford, and Stellantis, or as Shawn Fain, union president, says, it's the working class versus the upper class. We are less than 60 hours away from a possible disruption in our economy. Take a look inside this diner, Nikki D's Coney Island in Sterling Heights, serving their customers who are only about a half a mile away from a Stellantis assembly plant. The cooks and the waitstaff say they serve thousands of auto workers every single week.
We have links and we have patties.
They didn't want to talk to us on camera, but they said they would be devastated by a strike, meaning that they would lose customers, thus lose revenue. So time is ticking away as we are days away from a pending strike by the United Auto Workers, and so far those negotiations have been constant. However, we heard from Shawn Fain, the UAW president, who says he feels like the big three are dragging their feet as we are less than 60 hours away from a potential strike.
And it's time to take back what's ours.
He believes this strike won't affect working class Americans.
The companies want to say that, if we strike, it can wreck the economy. It's not that we're going to wreck the economy. We're going to wreck their economy, the economy that only works for the billionaire class. It doesn't work for the working class.
He also feels like he's putting his best foot forward, and hopefully a deal can be made before Friday morning.
We've made a little bit of progress. It's still slow, but we're moving. We have a long way to go.
Fain also says he wants to make sure UAW employees get their take in the billion-dollar pot.
Okay, in the last decade, these companies made $250 billion in profit. In the last 6 months alone, they made $21 billion in profit. In the last 4 years, the price of cars went up 30%. CEO pay went up 40%.
Back in 2019, when the UAW went on strike, it lasted about 40 days, and GM said it lost roughly $4 billion during that span. With the auto show starting next week, things are heating up for the big three versus the UAW. Reporting in Sterling Heights, Jordan Burrows, CBS News, Detroit. This time we're outside Hollywood Casino at Greektown as strikers are hungry and vocal for a new contract. It's day 2, and according to picket line leaders, they say they do not see this ending anytime soon. Remember, those on strike get $500 per week? Those we talked to say they are staying strong in their stance.
If we don't get it,
just make it fair for us is all we're asking.
There's always an energy when a strike first happens. This time it's with the nearly 4,000 casino workers who walked off the job Tuesday at noon. Signs and sounds along St. Antoine and Lafayette streets summarize the strikers, loud and proud. We heard from all casino representatives who say they are negotiating in good faith, want to continue to do so, and hope a deal is struck soon. They're already starting to feel the effects at all 3 casinos, Greektown, MGM, and Motor City, as valets are canceled and some table games are not available anymore.
We sacrificed for them, so now it's time for them to make it good for us. The cost of living is high, and we just want to meet the bare minimum.
It's Detroit's gaming workers versus the big 3 casinos. It's Detroit's auto worker industry versus the big 3 auto manufacturers. It's Detroit's nurses versus their respective employers. It's UAW Blue Cross Blue Shield employees versus their employer.
They're making money. We think we deserve some too. We've been here a very long time.
We spoke to several Hollywood Casino at Greektown workers who say they feel like the higher-ups are benefiting off their backs and they need to see more in their paycheck. According to the latest numbers from the State Gaming Board, Detroit's 3 casinos reported almost $105 million in revenue in August. During that month, the 3 casinos paid nearly $8.5 million in taxes to the state of Michigan. They paid $16.5 million in wagering taxes and other payments to the city of Detroit.
We would love to be back to work right now, but we just need a fair contract with economic justice.
The Detroit Casino Council says it has negotiated for more than 200 hours and trying to get a new fair deal. It says it wants to make sure that its employees' needs are met. Reporting outside of Hollywood Casino at Greektown, Jordan Burrows, CBS News, Detroit.